This is your everyday English class.
Hello, friends. Welcome to English Cactus. My name is Anna.
And I'm Brian. We're so glad you're here with us today, especially if you're someone who wants to finally make real progress in English without feeling lost or overwhelmed.
Today's episode is all about consistency, the one thing that most learners ignore, but that makes all the difference. We're going to share 5 powerful topics to help you study smarter, not harder.
That's right. You don't need to study for hours. You don't need to speak perfectly. You just need to show up every day in a simple and realistic way.
And we'll show you how.
But before we start, make sure to download your free PDF lesson in the video description. It will help you follow along and review everything we talk about today.
Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave us a comment telling us where you're from. We love connecting with learners from all around the world.
So if you've ever felt stuck, tired, or unsure about how to keep going with your English, this episode is going to open your eyes.
We'll talk about studying just a few minutes a day, building routines, using repetition, staying consistent when motivation disappears, and how to track your progress.
So grab your coffee, relax, and let's dive into the first topic, why consistency is more important than perfection.
Topic 1. Why consistency is more important than perfection.
You know, Anna, people always say they want to speak perfect English, but honestly, what does perfect even mean? I've met native speakers who still mess up their grammar. What really matters is showing up every day, even if it's just for 10 minutes.
Yes, I used to think I needed to study for 1 hour straight to see results. But guess what? That never happened. I was always too busy, too tired, or just not in the mood. So I did nothing. Until I realized that even 5 or 10 minutes a day could make a real difference.
Exactly. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't brush for 2 hours once a week, right? You brush a little every day. That's how you build healthy habits. Studying English works the same way. Study English every day, even just a little, and your brain starts to recognize patterns, words, and sounds naturally.
I had this student. She was a mom with 2 kids and a full-time job. No time for long lessons. But every night, she listened to one short podcast episode before bed, just 5 minutes. After 3 months, her listening skills improved so much. She wasn't perfect, but she was consistent, and that's what changed everything.
And let's be honest, some days you won't feel like studying. That's normal. I don't feel like exercising every day, but I still do it, even if it's just stretching. Same with English. Even repeating one sentence or reviewing one word counts. It's the act of showing up that keeps the engine running.
So if you're listening right now thinking, but I don't have time, you do. You really do. You just need to change the way you think about learning. Don't wait for the perfect day, the perfect app, or the perfect course. Just start. Just do something small today. And tomorrow, do it again. Because once you have that little habit going, it gets easier to build the rest, like your daily routine, which is exactly what we're going to talk about next.
Topic 2. How to build a simple English routine that works. People think they need a big plan to study English, like a workbook, a schedule, flashcards, and 2 hours of silence. But that's not true. You don't need anything complicated. You need something small, easy, and repeatable. For example, listen to one short podcast while brushing your teeth, or read one sentence before bed. That's it. Simple. The goal is not to impress anyone. The goal is to study English and actually do it every day.
Let me show you what a good routine looks like. Step 1, wake up and say one English sentence out loud. Step 2, listen to a podcast for 5 minutes on your way to school or work. Step 3, write down one new word at lunch. Step 4, read it again before sleeping. That's less than 15 minutes total, but it works because your brain sees English in the morning, afternoon, and night. That's how you learn naturally.
You don't need perfect tools. You need consistency. A sticky note with 3 new words, a mirror to practice speaking, your phone to record yourself. Simple things. I had a student who studied with cereal boxes. Every morning she read them in English. That was her reading practice. She learned food vocabulary without even opening a book. It's not about where you study, it's about how often you do it.
So if you're listening right now thinking, but I don't have time, you do. You really do. You just need to change the way you think about learning. Don't wait for the perfect day, the perfect app, or the perfect course. Just start. Just do something small today. And tomorrow, do it again. Because once you have that little habit going, it gets easier to build the rest, like your daily routine, which is exactly what we're going to talk about next.
Topic 2. How to build a simple English routine that works. People think they need a big plan to study English, like a workbook, a schedule, flashcards, and 2 hours of silence. But that's not true. You don't need anything complicated. You need something small, easy, and repeatable. For example, listen to one short podcast while brushing your teeth, or read one sentence before bed. That's it. Simple. The goal is not to impress anyone. The goal is to study English and actually do it every day.
Let me show you what a good routine looks like. Step 1, wake up and say one English sentence out loud. Step 2, listen to a podcast for 5 minutes on your way to school or work. Step 3, write down one new word at lunch. Step 4, read it again before sleeping. That's less than 15 minutes total, but it works because your brain sees English in the morning, afternoon, and night. That's how you learn naturally.
You don't need perfect tools. You need consistency. A sticky note with 3 new words. A mirror to practice speaking. Your phone to record yourself. Simple things. I had a student who studied with cereal boxes. Every morning she read them in English. That was her reading practice. She learned food vocabulary without even opening a book. It's not about where you study, it's about how often you do it.
Think about your routine like a toothbrush. You don't skip brushing your teeth, right? It's a habit. No one says, I don't feel motivated to brush today. You just do it. Your English routine should be the same. Choose a small action and repeat it until it becomes part of your day. Maybe it's writing 3 words. Maybe it's watching one video. Whatever it is, do it every day.
Some people ask, when is the best time to study English? And I always answer, the time you'll actually do it. Maybe it's in the morning when you drink coffee. Maybe at night when your kids are sleeping. Choose a time that feels natural. That way you won't fight with your schedule. You'll flow with it. Because learning should feel like part of your life, not a chore.
Once you have a routine, it's easier to grow. You start with 5 minutes, and suddenly you want to study for 10, then 15. And it doesn't feel hard. It feels exciting, like you're building something. Because you are. You're building a brain that speaks English. And if you stay with your routine long enough, you'll be amazed by what you can do, especially when you mix it with repetition, which brings us to the next point.
Topic 3. The power of repetition. Learn more by doing less.
Okay, Brian, let's be honest. How many times do you think someone needs to hear a new English word before they remember it?
Good question. I'd say at least 5 times, maybe more, depending on the person. But here's the thing. People often think they need more content, more vocabulary, more lessons. But what they actually need is more repetition of what they already learned.
Yes, I always tell my students, don't try to learn 100 new words this week. Try to learn 5 words really well. Say them, write them, use them in a sentence, stick them on your fridge. That's how you study English the smart way. Less pressure, better memory.
And think about it. How did we learn our first language? By hearing the same words over and over again. Hi, bye, thank you. Repetition makes things stick. It's like muscle memory. You don't even think, you just know it. That's what you want in English too.
Totally. One trick I use is shadowing. I listen to a short phrase in English, then I repeat it out loud, again and again until it feels natural. For example, can I help you? Say it 10 times. Then try it with different feelings. Happy, tired, confident. That's how you own the phrase. It's not just in your brain, it's in your mouth.
Oh, that's such a good tip. And here's another idea. Make one sentence your best friend for the week. Maybe it's, I'm learning English every day. Say it while you walk, say it in the shower, say it to your dog. I know it sounds silly, but repetition builds fluency. You don't need more, you need deeper. And the deeper you go, the stronger your foundation gets. Which brings us to another topic. What really keeps you going when motivation disappears? Topic 4. Motivation versus discipline. What really helps you learn English? Let's be honest, Anna. Motivation is fun, but it's also a little sneaky. One day, you wake up super excited to study English, and the next day, you just want to scroll on your phone or watch a cat video. Motivation comes and goes. It's like the weather. You can't control it.
Exactly. People always wait to feel ready or inspired to study. But if we lived like that, we'd never get anything done. I don't always feel like brushing my teeth, but I still do it. That's discipline. Discipline is what keeps you moving when the excitement disappears.
I remember when I started learning Spanish. The first week, I was on fire. I studied 2 hours a day. I watched shows, made flashcards, even sang in Spanish. But then, life got busy. I missed a day, then 2, and suddenly, I stopped. You know why? I didn't have a system. I was riding the motivation wave with no structure.
That's why we say discipline is the backup generator. When the lights of motivation go out, discipline keeps the power on. And it doesn't have to be boring or strict. Discipline can be gentle, like setting a timer for 10 minutes. It can be loving, like saying, "Today I'll do just a little, but I'll do something."
One simple way to build discipline is with non-negotiables. For example, no matter how busy you are, you'll listen to 1 English sentence a day. That's your rule, no exceptions. It's like brushing your teeth or drinking water. You don't ask if you feel like it, you just do it.
And here's the cool part. Discipline builds trust with yourself. Every time you study, even for 5 minutes, you're telling your brain, "I can count on me." That's powerful. That builds confidence, even more than motivation ever could. And when you trust yourself, learning becomes easier.
Yes, and motivation isn't bad. It's just not the engine. Think of it as a bonus, like when you get a burst of energy and suddenly want to study for 30 minutes. That's awesome. Use it, but don't depend on it. Your foundation should be discipline, and motivation is just the cherry on top.
One trick I use, I create a study space that makes me want to sit down and learn. A little notebook, a cozy lamp, some tea. That small setup makes it easier to stay consistent because it feels like me time, not homework. Discipline doesn't mean hard, it means intentional.
And if you fall off track, which happens to everyone, don't panic. Just come back. No guilt, no shame. Start again with something small. You're not starting from zero, you're starting from experience. You already know more than you think. The key is never stop, never give up.
When you mix discipline with consistency, you become unstoppable. Even on the hard days, even when no one sees your effort. That quiet, daily discipline is what creates real fluency. And if you're doing that right now, we're proud of you. Keep going, because soon you'll start to notice how far you've come.
Topic 5. Track your progress. See how far you've come.
You know what's funny, Brian? Sometimes people say, "I don't think I'm improving." And I ask, "Are you tracking your progress?" And they say, "No." That's like going on a road trip with no map and then wondering why you feel lost. If you're not tracking, you can't see how far you've come. But when you do, even small progress feels exciting.
That's so true. I had a student once who thought she was stuck, so I told her to write a short paragraph in English once a week. After a month, she compared her first and fourth texts and her face lit up. "Wow," she said, "I didn't know I was getting better." That's the power of documentation. It shows you the truth when your brain starts doubting.
You don't need anything fancy to track your English. A notebook is enough. Write down new words you learn each day. Write 1 sentence using that word. Then, at the end of the week, go back and read them. You'll feel proud. You'll think, "I actually studied. I learned something." And that little feeling pushes you to keep going.
Or record your voice once a week. Just say 1 sentence. "Today, I studied English." That's it. Do that every week for 3 months. Then listen to the first recording and the last one. You'll hear more confidence, fewer pauses, better pronunciation. And that proof will give you energy to study more. It's like watching your muscles grow after working out.
Tracking also helps when you feel stuck. Maybe you feel like nothing is working. But when you look back at your notes, you realize you know 50 new words. You finished 10 podcast episodes. You read a full story in English. That's progress. And sometimes we need to see it to believe it.
I even suggest creating a small English wall at home. Put sticky notes with your favorite phrases, or pictures of your goals, a place you want to visit, a quote you love. Every time you pass by, you'll remember your journey. You'll feel connected. And visual reminders keep your brain engaged with the process.
If you're more digital, use your phone. Create a Learn English album with screenshots of phrases you liked. Save voice notes. Track your streaks. There are even apps that celebrate your progress with stars and badges. It might seem silly, but those little celebrations boost your mood and help you stay motivated.
And here's the key. Don't compare your progress with anyone else. Your journey is yours. Maybe someone else learned faster. That's okay. Maybe you took longer, but you didn't quit. That's even better. Progress is not about speed. It's about direction. As long as you're moving forward, you're winning.
I also love reflecting at the end of each month. I write down, what did I learn? What was difficult? What felt fun? Those questions help me adjust my routine. Maybe I need more speaking, or more listening, or more rest. When you track your progress, you also learn about yourself, and that's powerful.
So, if you're listening right now, take a moment to pause and think, how can you track your learning starting today? A notebook, a voice message, a photo album? Pick something small and stick with it, because soon you'll be surprised by how much you've grown. And that, my friend, is just the beginning.
So now let me ask you something. What if you stopped waiting for the perfect moment and just started today with what you have right now?
What would change in your English if you studied just 10 minutes a day, every day, for the next 30 days? Imagine that version of you, more confident, more fluent, more proud of yourself.
Because the truth is, it's not the big actions that change your life. It's the small, daily ones. The ones no one sees. The ones that build your future, word by word, sentence by sentence.
So, which one of the 5 topics spoke to you the most? Was it building a simple routine, repeating short phrases, tracking your progress? Tell us in the comments. We'd love to know what you're going to try first.
And remember, don't aim to be perfect. Aim to be present. Aim to be consistent. That's how you'll learn, and that's how you'll grow.
If you're ready to take your English seriously and have fun along the way, make sure to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notifications so you don't miss any new episodes.
We believe in you. We're here with you. And we'll be back soon with more real conversations to help you learn English every single day.
Until then, keep going. You're doing great. And remember, the best time to start is always now.